Hey everybody, and welcome to Ages Cozy Crochet Corner, where today in the corner we are doing pocketed skirts. Okay, so I absolutely love making these skirts and I wanted to share them with you. So you can do them in a bulky size 5 like I'm going to be doing today on camera, but you can also do them in any type of yarn that you like. The tutorial is universal and for everyone, so no matter what size, what height you want to make the skirt in, you can make it with this tutorial. So all you're going to do is grab your favorite yarn and we're going to get to the table and we're going to make some crochet skirts with pockets. Hey everybody, and we're at the table now. So I'm going to begin this quick tutorial for this skirt, and I'm using Premier Puzzle yarn. It's kind of been what I'm into right now. I just like the way it feels, and I've made a couple projects with it, and I have so much of this yarn. I kind of want to use it all up right now, just doing fun things with it. So this yarn is 328 yards. It's a bulky 5, and we are going to be using a 6mm hook to work this project, and that's as suggested. And we will need scissors, and we will need a yarn needle after to weave in all our ends. I will let you know exactly how much yarn I used to make this. Okay, so now let's jump right into this project since we have everything we need. Okay, so I want to start this project with chaining what's going to begin our skirt. Now we're going to start our skirt at the waist. And I don't want to chain the waist size. I want to chain around my bottom because we're going to put either elastic here or a drawstring, whichever one you would like. But in doing so, we want to make sure that our skirt will fit up, okay? Because we'll be putting it on from the bottom up, of course. And we want to make sure it's going to fit around our bottom. So I'm going to chain the size, a size that will fit around my bottom. And by doing so, you can just chain as much as you need, fix it around your bottom, and make sure it fits. You don't need it super loose, but you want to make sure when you put it on, the elastic will, or the drawstring will be able to go over your bottom in order to get to your waist, and which the elastic will pull it in, or your drawstring will be able to tie around your waist. So we don't want to go extremely large, but we want to make sure we can get past our bottom. So I'm going to go to, it's a comfortable pull. I'll be able to pull it up comfortably around my bottom. So we're going to begin by adding our yarn on and just chaining up till we get to that size. And I'll tell you exactly how much I chain. Now I am done, and I chained 120, and that went around my bottom well. So that's where I'm going to begin. All right. Now once you have that, you want to make sure there are no twists or turns in your yarn. And we're going to join this together to make a circle. Okay. Now we're going to go right into the first chain. And we're just going to slip stitch there. So we're going to grab our yarn, pull through that chain, and pull through this one. And now we're joined. So now that we have a joint, we want to make the area for elastic and or our drawstring, whichever one you choose to do. So I'm just going to chain up one. Okay. And I'm going to do single crochet all the way around until I get back to this point. So we just want a single crochet, one single crochet all the way around. And we're going to make a couple rows of single crochet that are going to be our area for our elastic or our drawstring. Now we're going to be doing quite a few rows with single crochet, but I'm going to go all the way around and come back here so I can show you how to move up to the next row, and then we'll just go on our own, making our rows of single crochet. Okay, so I've gone all the way around and I'm back to where I began at. Now I want to slip stitch right into that first single crochet. I'm going to go in, grab my yarn, pull it back out, and then pull it back out on this side, and again chain up one, and then we're going to go right into the next single crochet, and we're going to do single crochets all the way around again. So we're going to repeat this for 5 rows. And then we're not going to forget to come back, slip stitch here, and then keep going around. And I'll see you back after you have that amount of rows. Okay, so for those of you who want to do the drawstring, when you get about midpoint, okay, because where we started, this will always be the same, which will be the back. This is going to be around the front. So when you get about halfway on your third row of single crochets, this is what you want to do. You're going to chain one, you're going to skip one single crochet, and you're going to go into the next one and make a single crochet. Okay, that's going to leave you a small hole, and that small hole is going to be where you're going to put one side of your drawstring through. And then we want to make another single crochet, chain one again, skip one single crochet, and into the next one we're going to put another single crochet, and this is going to be the other hole where our drawstring is going to come through. So you're going to go all the way around, just like we've been doing with single crochets, and you're going to continue on making the same amount of rows as if you're making. You're going to go back around making your total of 5 rows or whatever amount of rows from here. Okay, and when you come back around to this place, you'll just put a single crochet where this chain one space is, and a single crochet where this chain one space is, and all the others will be single crochet as well. Okay, so when you come back around, chain to this chain one space, single crochet, come back around to this one, single crochet. Okay, and you're just going to keep going. But because I'm not going to do the drawstring, I am going to take that out. I just wanted to demonstrate that for you all so you guys can see if you're doing the drawstring. So I'm going to go ahead and finish out my rows, and I'll be back in and we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so I have gotten to my 5th row, and now that I'm here, I want to slip stitch into the first single crochet, chain one, and now for this row we're going to be working in the back loops only. Okay, so when we look at our piece here, we see that we have a front loop and a back loop. We want to place our single crochets in the back loop only. So we're just going to be going just in the back loops just for this row. And this is row 6. When we're finished with row 6 and we start our next row, we will continue going through both loops. Okay, so I finished row 6. I'm going to slip stitch into the first single crochet, chain 1, and now I'm going to continue on row 7, 8, 9, and 10, just placing one single crochet but through both loops. What the previous row allowed us to be able to do easily is when we fold this over, we have a nice fold. So I'll see you after row 10. Okay, so I've gone all around. I've made my 10th row. I want to slip stitch into the first single crochet. And I'm just going to pull this up for a minute. And now we're going to fold this. So we're going to simply fold it, and you'll see where we have placed that row of back loop only makes it super easy just to fold this right on down, okay? But we're going to do that as we work. Now we want to close this off. So we're just going to fold it in half. And we're going to close it with a join of single crochets. So I'm going to go inside the first single crochet here and one in the back, which is where our foundation chain was in the back. So we're going to grab and make a single crochet, okay? So single crochet in the front, and we're going to find the very next one in the back, and we're going to single crochet. And we're going to keep doing that all the way around. But when we get about maybe a few single crochet over here, I'll tell you when. I'll come back in. We're going to stop because we're going to leave a little opening to be able to come back in and feed in our elastic. Now, if you're not doing elastic, but you're doing the drawstring, you really don't need to leave the opening. You're going to close this whole top part up. Well, this bottom part, actually, up. So, again, we're just going around and closing it. As you see, it is closed right here with our single crochets. So, I'll see you on the other side. All right, so we've left about 6 single crochets unclosed, okay? So this is where we're going to come back around and insert our elastic when we're done. The whole skirt will come back and deal with that. But we still have to work on the rest of our skirt. So not closing this off. I'm just going to go on this side and just work my single crochets. Okay. Just going to come work our single crochets all the way across. For those with the drawstring, you just continue to close off. So now I'm back to where I began. So I want to slip stitch into that first single crochet, and I'm going to chain 1. Now for the rest of the skirt, we will be turning our work. So we're going to start now by turning our work. And as you see, this will be right here for us to slip that into. And when we're done working that area, we will just close it off with our yarn needle. Okay, so now that we chained up one, from here on out we will be working half doubles on our skirt. So I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to begin my half doubles. So I'm going to work half doubles all the way around my skirt, and I'm going to do this for 3 rows. And every time we come back to the beginning, we will slip stitch into the beginning, chain 1, turn our work, and continue making our half doubles. Okay, so I have finished my 3 rows of half doubles, and I'm going to slip stitch into the first half double and chain 1, and we're going to turn our work. So now I'm going to be going back this way, but before I get started, this being my back seam, I want to lay it flat. Okay, actually I'm going to turn it around to me so you all can see it better. Now I want to lay it flat, and I want to make sure my seam is in the middle. Okay, and then I want to look at either side. Now I'm putting pockets on this project, so I want to go right here, and I'm just taking, if you have stitch markers, you could use stitch markers. I'm just taking a different color thread and I'm pulling it through here, and I'm going to come here and I'm going to pull this one through here. All right, so what I'm doing this for, I want to create my pockets, and I'm just going to work from on one side from here to here, and then on the opposite side we're going to work from there to there, leaving slits for our pockets. Now if you want to be more accurate, to make sure you are getting, again, this is in the center, in the back, and then we're putting it on the side. So if you want to make sure these sides, everything is even, you can count this out to achieve this. Okay, I'm just going to eyeball and know that that's my back, and these are where I'm going to stop every time I come around for my pockets. Okay, so we're going to begin the next row, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. So we already chained 1 and pulled up, so we're going to cut this off here. Okay, and we're just going to pull this all the way through, ending off there. So now that we have our points, and I'm going to start in the back, I'm going to get my yarn, and now that we have our points, I'm going to start at one point, and I'm going to add my yarn on, chain 1. I'm going right back in to place my half double. Now I'm going to go from here, making my half doubles, all the way to where I have this one. And I'll come back in when I get to that one and show you exactly where to stop. But we're going to go from here, making our half doubles all the way to our other marker, which should be at the center of our sides, okay? All right, so go on to the opposite end and I'll meet you there. Okay, so I am to the other side and I'm going to go right in where I have my little marker here, my yarn marker, and I'm going to make a half double. Now I want to chain one. I'm going to turn my work. And you see this is the other side. And I want to yarn over, and now I'm just going to be placing, then I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to go into every single half double and place a half double. And when I get to this end right here, where the first one we started with, we're going to stop there, chain one, turn our work. And we're going to do this for 4 rows. Okay, just working on this side for 4 rows. Okay, so I have 4 rows done in total for just the back part. And now on the 5th row, I want to increase a little bit. Okay, we're going to be increasing just a little bit in different places going down, so our skirt kind of has a flare. It starts here and we want it to fan out so it gets wider at the bottom. So I want to begin that on this row. So we've worked 4 rows of half doubles just on this half of the skirt, which is the back half. Now on this row, we're going to place increases. Now I'm going to increase every 4th stitch. So I will do 4 half doubles and then increase. Well, excuse me, 3 half doubles and then increase on the 4th stitch. If you can choose to alternate all of these rows of where we increase. If I increase on every 3rd stitch, on every 4th stitch here, then I'm going to do that every single time I increase on every single row. If you want more or less of an increase, that's going to determine how your skirt flares out. So let's begin on row 5 of our break off, what I'm calling. So we chain 1 and turn. So I'm going to go into the first 3 half doubles and place a half double. And when I get to the 4th one, I want to place 2 half doubles there. All right, and we keep going. 1, 2, and 3. And then in the 4th one, I'm placing 2 half doubles. So 1, 2, and 3. And the 4th one, we're going to place 2 half doubles. 2 and 3. And the 4th one, 2 half doubles. So I'm going to do that all the way until I get here, even if I end off of the pattern not being able to complete a 1, 2, 3, and then an increase. I'm just going to go all the way over to the other end, and I'll meet you there and show you how I end. So I'm coming close to my end, and I just got finished making increase. So I'm going to go 1, double, 2, and 3, and then 2 here, 1, 2, 3, and then 2 here, and 1, 2, and the last one for me will be 3. Because we might all be starting at different sizes here, this may end you at a different point, or if you decide to do a different number, if you decide to increase every 2, if you decide to increase every 5, or however you choose to do it, it may or may not end you off in a different place. Okay, so you might end on an increase, you might not get a chance to put your last increase, or you might end just having placed one of the half doubles after the increase. It doesn't matter. You just want to keep that pattern moving all the way out to wherever it stops you here. So now that is our 5th row for this back half, and leaving space for our pocket. Now we want to do row 6, 7, and 8, all just placing half doubles. Just half doubles, one in each stitch. Okay, so I will see you when we get to row 8. Okay, so now I've finished my 8 rows, and now I want to come in and cut off my yarn. And pull through. So now that we've done this side, now we have to do this side. Okay, so we already still have our marker where we went into this hole. We don't want to go in that one. We want to go into the next one. And take our yarn, and we're going to add it on. Chain 1, and I'm going to go right back in there and put my half double in there. And we're going to work from here, placing our half doubles till we get to the other side. Because now we have to work this side in the exact same way we worked the opposite side. So I'm going to work all the way until I get to this side, and we will not go in where we went in here. We will go to the one right before it, okay? We don't want to work in the spot we already worked in. We're going to work in the one right before it. And we're going to keep working this back and forth till we have 4 rows. And then we're going to do the same increase as we did on the opposite side. Okay, so I've gotten my 4 rows on this side. So now we have to do the increases for our 5th row. So on the other side, we did 3 half doubles and then increased on 4. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3 half doubles here, and then we're going to increase on the 4th one. So we're going to put 2 half doubles into the 4th one, and we'll keep going. 1, 2, and 3, and increase 4 on that one, and 1, 2, 3, and we'll increase on this 4th one, and we'll keep going. Now when I stop here, I'll actually increase and then have 2 more here. So I'll come in and show you how the increase row ends here. So now I'm at the end of my row, and I just made an increase here. So it'll be 1, 2, and 3. So it ended on this side just as it did on the other side. And then I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, and now for rows 6 through 10, we will just be doing our rows of half doubles. Okay. So I'll see you after row 10 is complete. Now I finished my 10 rows here, so I'm going to cut off my yarn and pull it through. And now what we've done here, we're going to take and do on the other side. Okay, so I have gotten to the end here and made my 10 rows. I'm going to cut my yarn. And pull my yarn through. Now we should have a piece that looks like this. Now what I want to do is find the back of my skirt, and I know this is the back of my skirt because I left my little tail hanging, and my elastic part where my elastic is going to go is right here. So so I want to look at the back of my skirt, and I'm going to pick a point. I don't want to start on the sides because then I'll have a seam just going down one of the sides. So I want to pick the back, and I want to find a point, and I'm going to begin right here. Now on this row, we are going to be joining these pocket areas together. So I'm going to add my yarn on here, chain 1, and go right back in and make a half double. So I'm going to half double all the way around until I get to my first pocket area, and I'll show you how we're going to close that up. Okay, so I have one more stitch and I'll be at the edge of this side. Now I want to go from here, and let's find our other point. Here's our pocket right here. So I already put my half double here, so I want to yarn over, and I want to put my next half double right into the first stitch here. Just like that. So we've gone right from one side right to the other, and that is going to be our pocket area right here. And I'll show you again when we get to the other side. I'm just going to keep going, making our half doubles all the way around. Okay, so I've gotten to the other pocket side, so I want to yarn over, and we're going to go right into this first half double and make another half double. So yarned over, we're going to go right there, grab our yarn, and make our half double. Then we have another half double here, and we've closed it off. And we're going to keep going around till we get to where we begin. All right, so we're back at the beginning where we started, and we're going to slip stitch into that first half double. Chain one and turn our work. Now before we begin this row, on our broken rows where we did rows over here and then rows on the other side, the fifth row we increased on, okay? And then we put 5 more rows over on it to make it 10. So what I like to do is I like to increase every 10 rows, okay? Then give it a nice gradual uh, increase. You can increase whenever you're ready to. I'm increasing every 10 rows for this piece. I've done some pieces where I do it differently, but for this one, I'm going to go every 10. So if I increased on the fifth row of the broken rows where we did one side, and then we put 5 more rows on, then we did this row, so that would be the sixth row. Now I just have to do 4 more rows and then we'll increase again. So we're going to do 4 more rows of half doubles, and then I'm going to come back in on 10 rows from the last increase, and I'm going to show you how we're going to increase again, but I'm going to keep to the same method of 3 half doubles and then an increase in the next stitch. So but I just want to show you again, and then we're pretty much just going to go on out as long as we want to, increasing every 10 rows after that. So I'll see you when I get to my next increase row, and we'll do that together. Okay, so I've gone 10 rows since my last increase, and now we're going to increase again. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 half doubles, and then we're going to put 2 half doubles into the fourth stitch. And again, 1, 2, and 3 half doubles, and then we're going to put 2 into the next stitch. So I'm going to go all the way around like that. Okay, so I've gone all the way around. I was almost able to finish the pattern. I just wasn't able to put that last increase there, and that is fine wherever you stop. So I'm going to slip stitch, chain 1, and turn my work. So I'm going to pause for a minute, kind of look at what we have going on here. So this is the skirt starting to form. You see we have our pockets now, so we'll come back to our pockets and put those in once we finish our whole skirt. And this is what we have going on right now. So what I want to do is just continue my skirt on out until I have the desired length that I want. So I'm going to keep increasing every 10 rows. So I'm going to go 10 more rows, and then I'm going to add another increase. Now once you get the fan size that you want to stop increasing, and you could just keep going on till you get to the bottom. So I'm going to put in an increase in 10 rows, go another 10 rows, increase in 10 rows, and we'll see how many rows I put on. In addition to how many rows I put on, how many times did I increase past this row. I'm going to put all that up so you guys know, and then we'll come back and once we're finished, we'll go ahead and add in our pockets, our elastics, and then we'll be good. Okay, so I know this looks like just a lot of skirt, but it is. Okay, so here is the point where we stopped working together. This was my last increase. And then I went down 10 more rows and made one more increase in the exact same way that we made this one. But the only thing is it was wide enough for me at that point, so I made no more increases for the rest of the piece. So past that increase, I've only made one more. I wanted to mark it so you can see that. And then I went down 45 rows to the end, and it flows nice, and I like it like that. If you want more, then just remember, if you want it to go wider, you're just going to keep making the same type of increase we've already made every 10th row. Okay. um but this was excellent for me for that size. All right. So I want to show you guys how to make the pockets, and then we're going to put our elastic in. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make your pockets. You just want to start out with a foundation chain of 16. All right. So I'm going to chain up 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. All right. Now, this should be the length of your pocket. If you hold this up to your skirt, where the pocket area is, it should be the length. If you use a different type of yarn, or if you made that pocket area larger, you just want to double check and make sure. You want to make sure this is the length of your pocket area on your skirt. We're not going to go into the first chain. We're going to go into the second, and we're going to place a single crochet. hmm And we're going to single crochet all the way down this row. Okay, so we have our first row complete, and it's a row of single crochets. Our next 26 rows will be of half double. So we're going to chain one, which we'll do at the end of every row, yarn over, and into the very first stitch, we want to place a half double. We shall half double all the way to the end of this row. Okay, when we get to the end of our row, we're going to chain one, turn our work, and begin our next half double right into the first stitch. So, and remembering the chain one at the end of every row, we're going to go up with 26 rows of half doubles, and then our last row is going to be a row of single crochets. That's going to give us 28 rows. Okay, so we did a row of single crochet. We're going to do 26 rows of half doubles, and then one more row of single crochet. Okay, so we'll get our pockets made up. We're going to have to make two of them, but I'll come in and show you how to fold them over and close them out. Okay, so I have my 28 rows here, and now that I have my 28 rows of half doubles, I can fold this over. And you see I did not cut off my yarn. What I want to do is chain one, and turn it on the side, and we're just going to enter this side right here, the front side, and we're going to enter the same place in the back, and we're going to single crochet all the way down to close this off. Okay, we're just going to hold this flat and we're going to single crochet all the way down, and that's going to close off our pocket. So the same thing we do here, we want to do on the other side as well. Just start at the top and close it down with single crochets. Cut our yarn, pull it through, and repeat on this side. Now here we have our finished pocket, as you see. And when it's all done, you want to just turn it on the opposite side. Make sure you push your points out, corners. And that's how it is. And this is how we're going to install it on this side, okay? Okay, so we're bringing back in our skirt, and we want to look at one of the pocket holes, and let's get one of our pockets. I'm going to go ahead, and this is on the right side of the skirt, okay? So we're going to go ahead and slip that right on in there, and it should fit, okay? The joint area here should match with the top, and the joint area on our pocket should match with the bottom right here. All right, and that's it. Fits right in there, nice and snug. Now I think I'll start at the bottom of my piece. Now we're gonna get pick a color. I'm gonna come back in and do mine. I'll just use the blue to outline it. Now if you want to use the color of your skirt, of course you could do that. I'm just gonna use this blue. Now it's very simple to install it. We're just going to be placing single crochets all around. All right, so I'm going to go to the very bottom of my skirt pocket area, and I want to insert my hook, and then I want to take and insert my hook in the same place, which would be right by the join area and my actual pocket. I'm going to add my yarn on, and I'm going right back into that same spot and making a single crochet. Now we're simply just going to single crochet this all the way around. Making sure we go into every stitch on the pocket. Turn it this way. We're just going to go all the way around, making single crochets to connect these two pieces together. If you need to, you can pin this to make it easier for you to go around. Do not skip any of the stitches on the pocket. And because we're working on the sides of stitches on the skirt, we just want to make sure we go through 2 loops. We don't want to skip any stitches. And that's it. We're just going to work this all the way around just like that. Okay. Now when we get to the end, we want to slip stitch into the first single crochet that we've created. Go through this last stitch here, and we're going to slip stitch right into the first single crochet that we created. Cut our yarn and then grab that, pull through, and we'll weave that in. And that is our pocket. I do not think it's necessary to tack down your pockets, but if you would like to, you can tack down your pockets, but I don't think it's necessary really to do that. Now this is the elastic that I'm using, and it's 1-inch braided elastic, and there are 2.5 yards here, so I will be using this for my elastic. So in measuring for this, you do not want to make your exact waist. I like to go a little bit under, okay, so it's more fitted, all right, because it's elastic and it's going to pull. I don't want it to be sitting exactly at the size, but with your elastic, fit it around you as you like. So you know where you want your skirt to sit. I would fit it around you how you would want your skirt to sit, and make that option of how long you want to make your elastic. So I also want to make sure you know to leave a little bit, because you are going to have to sew these together. So you're going to leave a little bit of space in order to sew these together. I would not want to sew them too close to the edge, so you at least want to go in 1/2 inch. Okay, so you'll need 1 inch just for that. This will be 1/2 inch to sew these down. Also, in order to weave it in, I'm going to use a big safety pin. So all we're going to do is take and add this onto the safety pin. All right. And that opening that we left right at the bottom, we're going to take and feed this through there. And we're just going to push this all the way around. Push and pull. Push and pull. Push and pull. It will go in very, very easy. And we're just going to push it and pull through some more elastic all the way around till we get back to the opening again. And we are right here to the opening coming up. Now, one thing you don't want to do is pull it too much to where this part goes all the way in this end. So be mindful that that part stays on the outside. Where am I at? I think I lost a little ground here. Oh, here it is. And there we go. So I have made it all the way around. Just want to pull that elastic. And now I want to kind of pull this around. Matter of fact, let me join them together. So that I don't have to worry about losing anything. And I kind of want to even it out a little bit. Okay. Now, I'm just going to get needle and thread, and regular needle and thread. And what we want to do is sew this close, okay? And then sew the open hole closed. And other than weaving in our ends, this particular skirt is done. I want to make sure this is not twisted in here. Yeah, I'm doing it flat. So yeah, I want to, like I said, about a half of an inch down, and I'm going to tack this down really good. I might even run it over the sewing machine, but I just want to show you definition of about where we're tacking it down, about here, all right? And then once you're done tacking it down, it'll pop right in there. It'll be done, and you just want to sew close this hole with your yarn needle, or you can just go ahead and whip it with your thread while you're at it. Um, we just got to weave in our ends, and this one is totally complete. Now, for everyone who might have done the drawstring, I'm gonna move this out the way. I did make another skirt, and let us bring that in so I can show you guys this one. Okay, yeah. So I made this one exactly the same. Only thing is, I left two holes here so I can come back and show you guys how to put the drawstring in. I know this is rather light right here and you can't see it that well, but you'll be able to see how we feed this through and it'll come out. So to make this one, I just went almost double the size of the skirt. So you can make your drawstring as long as you want it. And quickly, I'm gonna demonstrate exactly how I made this with a short piece of yarn. So I want to show you how I made the drawstring for this one. Is very simple. I actually, because I used the four yarn here, I did not use a J hook. I actually used a 5mm hook, but I'm just going to demonstrate with this hook because I have it handy. So I'm just going to chain up the amount that I would want my drawstring to be. So you want to make sure it wraps around you plus gives hang, okay? And once I chained up that amount, not into the first one, but into the second one, I just put a simple slip stitch, okay? And just slip stitched all the way down the chain. Just a slip stitch all the way down the chain. And that is all I did for this. Just a simple slip stitch. And when I got to the end, back to the beginning, just cut off the yarn, okay? So I'm gonna move this out the way. Let's bring our skirt back in. Now, we're still going to need our safety pin. So I'm going to take our safety pin and place it on to our drawstring. In the same way in which we fed the elastic in, we're going to go into our one of our holes, because we should have two holes if we place the drawstring, right? So we're just going to feed this in Let's make sure that one gets in there. And we're just going to push this around the same way we did for the elastic. So we're going to push this all the way around until we get back here. But here's a cheat with this. We can actually come through and pull it, which makes it actually go quite quicker. So say I go here and I'm gonna poke through those holes and I'm gonna pull this through. Which makes it go quicker. We're not weaving it in and out. We're just using our little crochet holes in between to pull our drawstring around quite faster. See, I'm just going to pop that through there and then pull that through. I'm going to go on this side, go right back through that same space and push this down further. And then pop it through the hole so I can pull. All right, I'm almost at the home stretch. I'm almost back to the beginning. Let me go in here one last time. And here's my hole here. So wherever your hole is, where you're supposed to finish, you're just going to come on through there. And just like that, we have our drawstring in. I'm going to take this off of here. We have our drawstring. We can go ahead and pull it through. And tighten it however we want to. Now, my ends, I just want to take and knot my ends, which would make it difficult for it to come through. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side, and that is it. All right, so another tutorial done. We'll go ahead and place these on the models again so you can see how the skirts turned out fully. Okay, everybody, so I hope you have fun with this tutorial. I definitely have fun showing you these skirts with pockets because nothing is better than anything with a pocket. So hit me in the comment section. Let me know if you like this video. Make sure you like this video if you do like this video. And follow me on all my social media sites. And hey, come check me out in my Etsy store if you get a chance. And until next time, you guys, see you.